There are an increasing number of tools on the market claiming to measure dyslexia. Most of them are selecting a couple of subtests here and there, and primarily in the area of phonological awareness and phonological processing, which is an essential part of dyslexia. However, the FAR is an entire battery dedicated to measure selected subtypes of dyslexia, and it's based upon a theory, and that theory is grounded in neuropsychology, that different parts of the brain contribute to this complicated skill called reading. The FAR is attempting to capture those particular pathways and how they manifest at different points in time with reading. Most often when we're starting to learn to read, phonological processing is extremely important. But there are other aspects, such as fluency or text prosody, the emotive tone we bring to the passage. Certainly there is comprehension and the ability to derive meaning from print. With the FAR, we are trying to capture, unlike other instruments, multiple subtypes of dyslexia in order to yield the best interventions for children. There's an increasingly number of tests and measurement tools aimed at capturing and measuring dyslexia, but what we are failed to mention is, what is dyslexia in the first place? I think we go back to the gold standard definition proposed by the International Dyslexia Association, that dyslexia is a disorder of accurate and or fluent word recognition skills. Based upon that definition, immediately what comes to mind is there must be different kinds of dyslexias. Some impact our reading accuracy. We attempt to capture that with the FAR with our phonological index. These are students who struggle with the bottom-up approach to reading. By that I mean understanding, capturing, sequencing individual sounds, stitching those sounds together to trigger word identification. We start at the sound level and we're going to get up to the word level. Most students who struggle with reading, especially at the earlier ages, struggle with that phonological subtype. But the International Dyslexia Association also talked about accuracy and or reading fluency. With reading fluency, we're talking about the ease in which we can automatically recognize a word without having to sound out the individual components. Educators have a very fancy term for this. They call it orthography. And with the FAR, we try to capture orthography through our fluency index. This is a very unusual language we're asking children to learn to read. It is the English language. English is an opaque language. It's not a transparent language like Portuguese or Spanish or Italian. Transparent languages, each letter takes on the same sound in most every word that you see. With the English language, letters take on different sounds depending upon the other letters around them. In fact, in the English language, 20 to 25% of our words are phonologically irregular words. Oh, you can get a sound here and you can get a sound there. You're not going to sequence those sounds to the finish line. Good luck decoding laugh. Good luck decoding yacht. Good luck with those types of words. You need what educators call orthography, the ability to look at a collection of letters and instantaneously recognize that word. Orthography is the fundamental process that's going to enable reading fluency and speed. We try to capture that on the FAR through our fluency index. Of course, some students struggle both with accuracy, phonics, and fluency, orthography. And if you struggle in both, that is our third subtype called mixed dyslexia. And for those students, that's really the most severe type of reading disability. Those students aren't 1 or 2 grade levels below. There are oftentimes multiple grade levels below. Lastly, on the FAR, we also capture comprehension. It's one thing to say a student did not answer a question correctly, even when they appeared to read the text in a relatively smooth and fluent manner. Therefore, they struggle with comprehension. The essential question is, why did they struggle with comprehension, assuming the student had the mechanical skills of reading the information correctly. We do a deeper dive in the FAR and try to determine whether the problem is one of working memory. Perhaps it's one of executive functioning. Executive functioning, not comfortable with the term, how we strategically self-organize information to facilitate recall. Or perhaps we just have lower language and verbal abilities. With the FAR, we are diving as deep as we can into the core elements of linguistic processing to determine why students struggle with their reading skills.